the wait is finally over, and I am incredibly excited. This is so exciting because yesterday it was announced that Status Quo's first official live album from the 1970s is about to get an expanded edition on CD. We've heard rumours about this for a long time. There's been little whispers in corners and stuff, but now it is officially confirmed. And this is a different release to the previous expanded editions. It kind of felt like the previous ones focused on maybe Quo Live in the 70s. You know, they put together other gigs like Tokyo Quo. This one focuses primarily on the Glasgow Apollo from those 3 nights that were recorded. So let me give you some background info on the original release. So this album was recorded over 3 nights in October 1976, 27th, 28th and 29th to be exact. And then following those 3 gigs at the Glasgow Apollo, the best bits from those tapes were then put together into what we now know as Quo Live, released the following year, and still very much regarded as one of the best live albums of the 1970s. It started off, of course, with Jackie Linton's iconic intro. Now, this new release differs because we have the original album on the first 2 CDs, newly mastered, which is what was released back then. We then have on the following 6 is the 3 nights in their entirety for the first time, which, as you can gather, is incredibly exciting because Quo Live during the 1970s is quite rare in such good quality, because a lot of the stuff we have is like bootlegs and stuff. So this is professionally recorded, and there will be stuff here that you have not heard before. A lot of the imagery they're using is obviously Quo Live, but there will be new performances in here, and I cannot wait, because this is the Frantic Four plus Andy Bown and Bob Young on harmonica. And yeah, this stuff is like gold dust. Fans have waited for this for many years. Now, the other thing with this release is that the gigs have been, so the gigs in their entirety have been newly remixed and mastered by AVP Media, headed by Andy Gamble, who's been on the podcast before, and he's a well-known name in the Quo world, and he's actually coming on the podcast, fingers crossed, in the next episode. So we'll find out more information about the mixing process, because these tapes were found apparently in a box labeled Peters and Lee or something. So I can't wait to find out all the situation with that, all the story behind that, because this surely has been a long time coming. I mean, imagine putting on those tapes and hearing stuff that you'd not heard before. You know, Jackie Linton's intro each night was different. I mean, that's going to be the first thing, isn't it? And they put out a video yesterday advertising this release, and they've used all the artwork from the original, obviously, to give you the sense of the era in which this release is drawing from. And they've also used a different intro from Jackie Linton to let you know that it is different. This is something that you haven't heard before. And I got goosebumps. Like, I'm just so excited. This is incredible. And this album, let's not forget, was the template for what they did in 2013 and 14 as part of the reunion gigs of the Frantic Four. You know, this is down in Quo lore, if you will. Like, it's a huge thing to finally get those 3 performances released in their entirety, remixed and remastered from, you know, multi-track tapes. So there will be some difference, I'm sure. I haven't heard anything from this. I cannot wait. I've set my pre-order. It's available to pre-order now. It's currently pre-order for around £75. It can be a little bit less. It's like 69 in one place and 75. It's sort of fluctuating. I know that seems like a lot of money. It seems like a lot of money, but based on what I've read and what I've heard, there has been a lot of work which has gone into this release. They would have had to have sourced the tapes, digitized them, remixed them, corrected maybe like other bits. I don't know, like all these different things. They would have mastered it. Obviously, there is now the cost of pressing the discs and everything else. All of this costs money. And the fact that they've invested in this tells you that if they sell enough copies of this, it will lead to other things. I've heard that there is another gig from 1979, Hammersmith, which could get issued at some point. It's never been out there before. This is apparently ready to go, but it won't be ready to go out onto your bookshelf or into your player if this one doesn't sell. And what I love about this is that it isn't a rehashing. This is mostly new material, that we are seeing on this release. Okay, it's 8 discs and like it's 3 sets and it's the same set each night. There's no different songs on there. They haven't thrown in Down Down or Paper Plane or, anything else that they were playing on the Blue For You tour that year that was different. This is, this is it, but this is amazing. This is what we've got, but it's gold dust. Gold dust. Never thought I would see the light of day. I mean, I often wondered if those tapes still existed. I mean, how many things have we gone, did the tape still exist for that? Turned out for this, it did. And now they are getting issued on CD in remixed and mastered, like newly mastered quality. And I keep saying it, I cannot wait. I love the design of the package that they've got there and the orange discs as well. The labels on there I find very fetching. I can read it. You can look at the discs there and you can see exactly what's on the disc, what night it's from, so you can't get confused. I love that design. Looks great. And of course, there is the booklet as well with photographs, and there's a few write-ups in there. I think Dave Ling is involved. Andy Gamble, obviously, talking about the whole process behind this thing. For those asking if it's going to be on vinyl, there is a record store release, which I've already talked about in a previous episode, of the first night in its entirety. So it looks like live album, but it's the first night. Of course, they were sort of cherry-picked from different nights. That is the first night in its entirety, record store day, all the details on the previous episode, and all over Quo's social media as well. Lastly, this episode is going out on the 27th of February. Happy 85th birthday to the legendary Jackie Linton. I had the honour of interviewing him back in 2022 at the Quo fan club convention, and he is really friendly. I had such a great time talking to him on that. That is also available on the channel. So, Status Quo Live will be, according to Amazon, released on May the 16th, 2025. What are your thoughts on this new edition and the original album? Did you buy it when it was first released? Were you there at the Glasgow Apollo to witness some legendary recordings being made? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you again for another episode of the Quo-Cast.